Welcome to the Old Dogs REI Network, where cash flow is king. Real estate investing, the means, so you can enjoy your retirement dreams. This is the show where we cut right to the chase. No sales pitch, no long monologues, just simple how-to real estate investing advice, so you can earn the passive income you need to enjoy your retirement today. And now, your host and chief old dog, Bill Manassero.
Old dogs, and welcome to
Fun Facts Friday.
This is our once a week, only on Friday show, where we have special episodes not featuring guests, where I will share tricks, tips, terminology, and techniques that will help skyrocket you to real estate investing success. Today's topic is creating your 2023 strategic real estate investing plan. But before I get started, I just like to say hi. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope as we're moving here in the U.S. anyway into winter, and it's starting to get chilly here. And but for me, the first time in Tennessee during the winter, it is definitely unusual. You know, I thought the 60s was cold in California, but man. Waking up to 19 degrees and lower is a little bit of a shock. But hey, enough of me. Let's talk about you. As we approach year end, I'm hoping you have already completed your 2023 strategic plan. And if not, it's still not too late. If you listen to the show for a while, you know that at the end of the year, I push pretty heavily here for you to create a strategic plan for that year. And if you already have done it, hey, I'm sorry, I may be repetitious here and you're going, hey, I already did my plan. But if you haven't, I just want you to listen to this podcast and hopefully see why I think it's important. I mean, if you just started out in real estate, this could be a great time for you to kind of start off the right way with your first strategic plan. Or if you've already been investing, this is a good time to review where you are, where you've been, and plan to go. And look at how you can put that down on paper as your goals for the new year. Especially right now in light of the economy, recession, and inflation, it's more important than ever that your strategic plan not only show your goals and strategies for achieving those goals, but I think even more, it's very important to be able to develop contingencies as well as part of your plan. Should there be radical shifts in the market, the economy, or any other type of area that can affect your real estate investing. Now, developing a good strategic plan is critical if you are serious about real estate investing. Just buying a house here and there, that's not a plan. Or even saying, I'll buy one a year. That's not really a plan either. Your strategic plan puts your goals into perspective, helps define how you will achieve those goals, and keeps you on track to achieve those goals. So it's more than just buying a property. It's having strategy behind that property, what type of property you're buying, what kind of cash flow you're hoping to achieve, and so forth. I know many of you will be completing your plan, digitally in a lot of cases. It's on your phones or on your laptops. But, I'm an old dog here, and I prefer the old school method. I buy the white notebook, with the clear slip covers so I can put in there, the 2023 strategic plan, and I can start putting everything into one little area. So as I'm collecting my data, putting things, it's also something I can have at my desk that I can open, and I can write notes on. Hey, this didn't work, or you can just make it a working document for your everyday real estate efforts. I also like whiteboards. You don't have to do this, but I like to have a big one where I could actually sit down and have a planning meeting. I remember in my corporate days how, we would always sit down and do planning, and that was one of the great ways to just get the ideas on the board, and just brainstorm. And I know it's kind of hard to do that by yourself, so I always try to get somebody in here to do that with me. But sometimes it's just me talking to me. Yeah, sometimes just talking to myself. But hey, it's okay. I'm old. I can do that. Just kidding. Okay. Anyway, don't get him hung up on what the plan looks like. Okay. It's important that you have a document that works for you specifically. Okay. You might not want to have multiple pages, but there's other people who will want all kinds of data in detail. I think the idea is to map out a plan, and there are multiple ways to do this, and I'll give you references in our show notes and how you can find a way to do a plan. But the first step that I always take is I look back. If you're already investing, one of the most important steps before writing your plan is to look back at your current year, and try to get a good insight of what happened, what worked, what didn't. Then you start compiling your data. It's important to have like your financials, all your financial tracking data, profit and loss statements, balance sheets, rent rolls, income and expenses. If you don't have those numbers readily available, it's important to make that part of your real estate investing activities. Maybe you can get QuickBooks. I think it's a great resource. And there's a lot of other similar types of programs out there, or even hiring a part-time bookkeeper that can keep all of your records for you and compile them for your taxes each year. If you use Excel spreadsheets, you can draw from that data, but it's best to have a way to easily track and generate reports that will help you continually assess how you're doing. Also, look at other data pertinent to your real estate investing activities over the year. Maybe things like your calendars, day timers, could be other types of records that you keep. The things you're trying to find out is where did you go? How did you spend your time and your money? Track how many hours per week you spent on real estate investing, education, mentoring, research, etc. Did you attend any industry boot camps or conferences? Did you listen to podcasts, read books? And write down how much time you spent on these things. This also helps you, as you file your taxes, to establish you as a real estate professional, which can also help in getting your taxes in order and being able to get some special write-offs there. Make records of your hours spent as well as how much money you spent on activities, everything from mileage and dinners if you've met with people regarding maybe as a broker, or it was a fellow real estate investor who you were drawing information from. Maybe it was a banker. And try to write everything down that you can. Chronicle the year. Look at what you accomplished. Did you meet or surpass any of your goals that you set last year? It's time to celebrate your successes and learn from your failures. It's okay to pat yourself on the back for your wins. Maybe take your wife out for a special dinner celebrating the good year that you had. But I think it's important to know what you achieved and where it worked and where it didn't work. If something worked well, make a note of it and do more of it. But refine it to make it even better this time. If you blew it, take the time to look at what went wrong and learn from it, and either refine it or knock it out of your plan. Paint a good picture of how your year went and write notes for what you would do differently in the year ahead to do it better. If you have not done anything yet, but plan to start in 2023, let's say you've been doing your research, listening to podcasts, so forth, now is a great time to look ahead. You can't look back on your track record, but you can certainly look ahead at what what you hope to accomplish. Some great books out there that we have on our website. We have 20 of the top books that I personally found as great references. Just go to our resources section of the Old Dogs website at olddogsreinetwork.com. Also, try to, I have a number of podcasts talking about planning. I just think it's really important if you really want to succeed, and things like topics like knowing your why, setting goals, strategies, other helpful topics. I'm going to have links in the show notes to some of those podcasts and articles that should hopefully help you. But some of the key elements of your plan include a mission statement, your goals, your strategy, a timeline or time frame. This is not a business plan, so don't feel that you have to do all of the things that you would do for a business plan, although some people do. That helps them to plan their year. Usually a business plan has an executive summary, company overview, business model, USP, market analysis. It goes into a lot of other areas that isn't necessary for this type of a plan. I do put market data. I think that's important. If you are somebody who invests in other states and you're looking at maybe potentially some different states to go into, it's what's going to work for you. I'm not going to tell you don't get formal with it if that's going to be something that works for you. That's the key. What will work for you? The key thing is getting something down and in a readable form that you can look at and you can review and you can revise and so forth. Your plan elements, you should have things like your why. That this does not have to be formally written in your plan, but I think you could draw a reference to that, because this is the thing that's going to really motivate you to continue investing even when things get rough. Your mission statement, your goals, your strategy. The strategy could be, and I talk about strategy sometime, I know I reference that in different ways. A strategy can be a type of real estate investing. For example, wholesaling, flipping, buy and hold, those are strategies. But then there are also strategies within your plan. For example, I'm going to focus 100% on building up my broker team or my agent team of realtors out there, and create a funnel of constant deals that are coming my way through them. That's a strategy. You may have access to the MLS or something. Maybe you are an agent or a broker, and then you don't need those other brokers out there necessarily. You can look up a lot of those things yourself. It just depends. But I'm referring here to one. Yes, identify your strategy if you are going to be flipping, or you're going to be buying deeds, or you're going to do hard money lending, things like that. But this strategy, I think you should really focus on, how am I going to achieve that goal? How am I going to acquire a new property every month, and really break it down? Maybe a combination of direct mail or a number of other types of areas that you might use to bring those deals in the door. Time frame is really important. It's be realistic, but don't be afraid to reach either. Do you want to retire in 10 years? Or maybe you're already retired and you're looking at, like me, retiring again, from real estate investing. Are you planning on quitting your job next month? All those things are really important timeline items that have to be a part of this too. And then your market. If you're investing in your own backyard, hey, good for you. That's great. But if not, maybe you might want to find an area a little further from home, or maybe it might be in another state. It might even be in another country. So you have to, look at those areas and be concise and stick to your plan as much as you can in terms of defining and finding that market. And then once you find it, moving into the implementation in that area. Criteria, really important to know what you're looking for. If you're buying rental property, what kind of rental property? Are you buying single family homes? You're buying multifamily? And if you're buying, let's say, a multifamily, what type? Is it A, B, or C property? Is it something that 100 units or more, or you're looking in the 20 to 50 unit category, or really get specific as you can. Flexibility is important too. So if you're not finding enough deals to cherry pick from, you can change your market and or strategy. This part of your plan is one of the most important elements to fully understand and clearly define. Too many investors get excited and buy the first deal that comes their way. By having clearly defined criteria, you are able to easily reject the 99% of the properties that are not a good deal, that are not going to help you to achieve your goal. And then, of course, the marketing plan, or the marketing elements in the plan. How are you going to create a marketing system that will draw motivated sellers to you, for example? How will you find the best deals that are listed? Will you use the MLS, agents, brokers, online searches? There are a lot of companies out there that, and I've featured many on this podcast, that will also go out and find you off-market deals, for example. Then the financing is important. How do you plan on purchasing your deals? Are you looking to use other people's money? Are you going to pay cash? You can use conventional financing, hard money, private money, equity partners, seller financing. There's a whole list of different ways to fund a deal. And today, with the rising interest rates, you might want to spend a little bit more time in this area, for example. Also, your teams. You should really clearly define your teams and the systems you and they will use to delegate and automate tasks. These are people, for example, like your broker, attorney, CPA. It could be virtual assistants that you hire in another country. It could be who just is your assistant, and that's like your one key person that's you're gonna be delegating a lot of these responsibilities to. But your team is a real critical part of your success as well. And then exit strategies and backup plans. I touched on this a little bit. Having multiple clearly defined exit strategies is one of the most important parts of your strategic plan, especially for new investors. How are you going to exit the deal? What are your backup plans? Do you flip, lease option, whatever it is that you do? What is the end game? And as I mentioned, with the economy the way it is, and some of the challenges out there in the marketplace right now, it's really important that you do have your plans A, B, and C in order, should things not go according to how you thought they would go. And those backup plans and the exit strategies are key. Also, you do want to include your financials. As I mentioned, you're putting those together, but you also have your projected financials, which are going to be important for you as you look ahead at where you're trying to get to and what your goal is, especially the financial aspects of your goal. Well, that's, at least an overview of what I would really recommend. Take the time to at least look into developing a plan and what's involved in it, because even if you are only buying one property a year, you having that goal in mind will give you that point where, hey, I've acquired enough properties. This is what I want. 10 years, I'll have 10 properties, and they will be generating this much cash flow, and I will accelerate the payoff on the mortgages, and all the elements that go with that. It's so important to have that written down and to work that so that it does work to your advantage. Don't worry if you don't understand everything at this point or know how you're going to accomplish everything in the plan. Remember, a strategic plan is a work in process that should get better and better the more you use it. And if you have it on your desk there, I'd recommend you looking at it every day, reminding yourself what your goals are, and be able to break down your months and weeks and even days to the point where you see how what you're doing today, what I'm doing this minute, is contributing to that plan for not only the month or the year, but 10 years from now, or whatever your end game is. As you learn through real-life experience, you will revise, adapt, and refine the plan to make your efforts more and more effective and profitable over time. So I would just recommend start researching. Listen to some of the podcasts that I've attached to the show notes for this show, and see, hey, does that make sense to you? Does that sound like something you want to do? And start researching, collecting your data. Buy that notebook or whiteboard or whatever it is to start the process. Now remember, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So is a real estate investor's hopes of being successful without a plan. I honestly believe that this is a key element. Well, that's it for today. Please note, Old Dog listeners, everything presented here today can be accessed in our detailed show notes on the Old Dogs website at olddogsreinetwork.com/blog. And look for the episode entitled Creating Your 2023 Strategic Real Estate Investing Plan. Well, that's the show for today. Remember, cash flow is king and real estate investing the means. Until next time, keep moving forward. And may God bless.
Thank you very much for visiting the Old Dogs REI Network. We would greatly appreciate if you would stop by iTunes and let us know what you think of the show. We would love if you could subscribe to the podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and write a review. The more ratings and reviews we receive, the more visible the podcast will be to others. Thank you.